Hey everybody, it's Amy from Amazing and I'm here very comfily with a blanket and I have my lovely Ryan here because he's my comfy doll, my comfort doll. He gives me so much comfort. And yeah, I'm here with a sort of story time and also like an update on just things in general. And lots of dolly stuff. And yeah, so let's start with the story first, since it's still pretty fresh in my head and I just want to get it off my chest. So I am in art school. I'm in my third semester now, almost in my fourth, and I started sculpture class last year already, but this time I actually had a new teacher. And we practically had our very first lesson with her, and that was fine. I thought she was very awesome and she knew lots of stuff, and the thing was that she actually seemed like she actually wanted to do, like she wanted to help me do what I wanted to do, which is making BJDs. And so yeah, I just told her, yeah, I have BJDs, I love BJDs and I want to make them myself. And then she was like, yeah, why don't you bring one along the next time? So I did. So I brought Kitty along since I plan on making an MSD as a school project at some point. Currently I'm probably gonna make a head first, like an SD head, and then I'm gonna work my way up so I can sort of get into the whole process of sculpting a doll, making a mold, making another version of that doll in a different material, and making another mold and stuff like that, and then finally making it into resin and stuff. And yeah, and sort of understanding the process of what you have to go through to make a doll, which I find a very good idea. But yeah, so I had her with me, and what happened was I thought she was just going to look at her, like I can show her how the doll works and show her all the joints and yeah, just in general not take her out of my hands. But as soon as she got there and saw my doll, she just grabbed it and took it for herself. And that, first of all, gave me a huge scare because, first of all, oh my god, this doll is so expensive. It's like $400 worth, I believe, with a face-up. And there's this stranger who I've just seen once in my life, and she just takes my doll away to look at it and handle it super roughly, which she did. She just pulled apart the string and turned it upside down, took her clothes off without my consent. Like, I'm saying that like it's like she's taking off my clothes, but it is very, it's very similar for me if she undresses one of my dolls, since they are a huge part of me. Like they are parts of me in a way. Like they have so much of my personality, and I develop their stories through, so I take bits of my own life and turn them into their stories, and to me it feels like you're basically taking advantage of me if you do something like that, if you take off their clothes without asking me first if that's okay. If she had asked, I think I would have been completely fine, since, well, it is just a doll, but still, in that moment it felt just so, I felt so uncomfortable and I didn't really know what to do. I mostly just held her awkwardly as she handled her roughly, and I then awkwardly told her that, yeah, please don't touch the face, it's like painted on and it could scrape off. And she understood that at least and didn't touch her face anymore, which she did once, but nothing happened, thank God. And yeah, I just awkwardly tried to catch her if she ever fell, and I also told her, yeah, this doll is like 400 euros, so be a bit careful. And like very awkwardly, because I was just so overwhelmed by the situation. And yeah, and what then happened was the worst for me. Like, it's one thing to not know how to handle a doll, because obviously she doesn't understand how much this doll means to me and how expensive it is. She didn't know that at first. And that's one thing. But then what she also did was she pointed out how thin she is, like as if it's a bad thing. And she pointed out how her boobs looked as if they had implants. And I was so freaked out by that, because her boobs look very normal in my opinion. They just look like she's wearing a bra. And there are women who have boobs like that. Like, there are thin women with big boobs. That's just a fact. And I was just so freaked out by that, because she said it like it was such a despicable thing. Like my doll was disgusting, basically. Like, she was just like, oh, she's way too thin and that's so unhealthy and that sort of stuff, even though she looks fine in my opinion. Like, I don't even know. Like, I think she's one of these people that think they're sort of hypocritical. They are like accepting everyone who's bigger, but they don't accept anyone who is thin, which it should go both ways. Obviously, we're not talking about health stuff here. We're not talking about how any sort of weight can influence your entire life and your entire health, but we're not talking about that right now. We're talking about accepting a person as they are, and their health is their problem and their doctor's problem. Like, that is none of your business. And for you to point out how something like a thin doll is disgusting, like, what am I supposed to do with that information? And I was just so shocked, and the only thing I told her was, well, yeah, her boobs are supposed to look like they're in a bra, so when she wears clothes they look completely normal, which they do. She looks absolutely gorgeous, and I think her body is very realistic, especially since she's Korean. Korean girls, obviously not all of them, but in general, Korean people have this sort of body. They have very slender waists. That's just how it is. And even if she looks like she has implants, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, she can do whatever she wants. You know? Like, who is stopping her from doing that? I mean, after all, she's also a doll, and she's not supposed to be, well, realistic. Real, she is realistic, but not like, she doesn't have to look like a real person in the end. They are very perfect. Lots of dolls are very perfect, and I believe that's fine. Like, what is the problem with that? I don't understand how I can't have a perfect doll. Why can't I have my perfect doll and love it just as much as any other doll, even if it was, I don't know, a bit thicker or very muscular or whatever. Yeah, and that's just, it was just so disturbing to me that someone would say something like that. But then again, she's just in general a bit weird. But like, she just really often doesn't understand how much it actually means to us students, like how much the projects they're working on means to us. Like, for example, I have a friend who is working on a sculpture that's basically a huge part of their life, just like with me. My dolls are a huge part of my life, and like, this sculpture is representing a part of them that is a huge impact. And she just wanted to change all about it just because she didn't like the way it looked, and because it didn't fit into her standard of beauty, I guess, or like her standard of what should be made as an artwork. And yeah, I was just really confused about that. Yeah, I really hope that's not gonna happen again. I'm not going to take my doll ever into that class again. I think I don't want to ever have something happen to my dollies. I mean, I do take them out for like filming. Like I plan on making movies with my dolls, like little stop motion movies, but that's something completely different. There I'm completely left alone and no one touches my dolls ever, unless I like tell them that it's okay for them to like hold it or whatever, but they're always very, very careful. I've already taken my dolls into class. Ryan has been with me already, and yeah, I just don't want it to ever happen again. It was just so scary. I hated it. But yeah, another little update. Actually, let me just get something. So I put Ryan away for a second so I can show you this lovely, lovely, well, what do you call this? A diary? It's like a scrapbook, whatever, like a diary sort of thing, that is out of leather, and inside are handcrafted papers, like they're handmade, and they're so beautiful. I got this from my grandmother, who's also an artist, in Christmas, this Christmas actually, and I love it so much. Like I love the way this is done. Like every single page is like an art piece itself. Like I love the feeling of it, and I just love working on it. And so I started drawing every day, or almost every day. I don't draw literally every day, but like for example, this is something I did. Yeah, lots of watercolors and ink, since that's what I love to do the most currently. It's so much fun. It's so much fun. And this is Ryan, for example. Lots of my dollies are in here, or like versions of them. Oh yeah, this for example is also one of my favorites. It's also Ryan. Yeah, and I just enjoy it so much. Like it's sort of my goal to draw every day this year, since it sort of calms me down a lot. Like it's very comforting in a way. And if you want to see some of them, I post them on Instagram usually, sometimes also in my stories, especially when they're a bit personal. I don't want them to be out there forever. But yeah, this is Lucas, for example, and this is I like Yagami, since I love him. Yeah, and there's some personal pages. I don't post everything. Some of them are very personal and sort of my own thoughts, and if I go through a very rough day, I also want to sort of get it onto paper, because yeah, it just helps me a lot with coping with bad days. Yeah, here's some drawings of Al Lolliet. Yeah, and then there's this one, for example, which I really love. I love how this one turned out. This one I haven't finished yet. I don't know what's missing of it, but something is missing. I don't know what is missing yet though. And these are a few recent ones. This is a life act nude drawing. I always forget how you say that in English, but yeah, I drew a few of them in the last class that I had on Friday. There are another two, and I think one more. Yeah, and then there's the one that I drew on Saturday, I believe, on the 13th. Yeah, this is light as a rainbow rocket, you know, from the new Pokemon games. Spoiler alert. the new Ultra Sun and Moon, they have like the Rainbow Rocket teams, and there is the Rainbow Rocket grunts, and they reminded me so much of Light that I just had to sort of draw him as a Rainbow Rocket grunt, and instead of the R, I obviously wrote a K on his shirt, so it's Kira. I don't know, I just really love to smirk and stuff, and it was just fun to do. It was just like a fun thing. But yeah, lots of fun stuff to do, but like I still have lots and lots of pages to fill, and that's gonna be so much fun. I really adore this book, and I really try to draw in it every day now. I still have to do it today. But yeah, it's very comforting to do that. Actually, Ryan, now you can come back on my lap. But yeah, guys, have you ever experienced any awful dolly stories or whatever, like situations? I already saw on Instagram that some of you have had similar experiences of people just taking your dolls, and I've heard about like children messing up dollies and that sort of stuff. Even though I believe children, especially when they're a little bit older, they are actually a lot more gentle with dolls than adults, because especially for children, I noticed that they understand the meaning of a doll. Like, they understand that, like, they feel like it's an actual little person. Maybe that's also because I work with lots of amazing children, but yeah, I know a few children that just, they handle dolls amazingly. Like, they would handle them like me. Oh, whoops. And yeah, as I was saying, I handle them very carefully. No, it just happens sometimes that his wig falls off. I really need to get him another wig cap. But yeah, they just handle them very nicely usually. And it's usually the adults that don't really know how to handle a doll properly, since they sort of are used to a Barbie that you can just throw around or whatever, and they don't really know that this is an art piece that costs lots of money, and that so much work goes into these, not only by the artists that that sculpt them, but also by the artists that own them, since you paint them, make clothes for them, buy their wigs, make their stories, photography, all sorts of stuff, paint their tattoos, so much stuff, like props and doll rooms, all that stuff. That's just, yeah, they're just little artworks. And lots of people just don't understand that. But yeah, guys, I will keep you guys updated on like my process. It's gonna take probably more than a year still until I have my finished doll, if I'm ever gonna finish it. I really hope so. I do think so. It's gonna be just fine, but it's gonna take a while. But I'm very excited about it. This is like a dream come true finally. But yeah, a little bit of a personal note at the end. I'm working on my Nendroid diorama currently, and I might do a separate video on that probably, but yeah, it's actually a very nice thing right now. Like, I really love how it turned out so far, and I just love posing my dolls. Like, I love the little tiny Nendroids and Q-push dollies. They're just so adorable. It's just so different to these big guys. And your wig is falling off again. But yeah, guys, this is it from me and from Ryan. I hope you enjoyed it, and leave a like down below if you did. We're doing that again. But yeah, guys, I love you so much. Thank you all so much for, I think we're already at 1,800 subscribers. Is that correct? Or is it 700? I don't know. I think it's already 800. That's so insane. I think I need to do a giveaway at 2,000 subscribers because I am so grateful. Yeah, seriously, like, I never believed so many people would watch my content since it's mostly just for myself and sort of documenting my my story and sort of sharing my thoughts and my ideas and that sort of stuff, and yeah, also for myself mostly. And obviously I am so happy that someone else finds my tips helpful and that they enjoy my videos and also my ranty videos, and I'm seeing that I already am filming for like 20 minutes, so well, I think I'm gonna end it right here. So I'll see you in the next video, and I love you so much. Bye bye!